Hey guys, it's Josiah here, back again with another video. Now, in this video, I want to be going through one mindset hack that I went through that helped me remove myself from my agency. And I wanted to do this quick one and maybe just tell you this one thing that literally has helped me. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Josiah. I've worked with over 150 plus marketing agencies, helping them scale to multi-six figures. I know how to do this because I scaled my own agency to multi-six figure in just under 90 days. Now I'm helping other people implement LinkedIn and email outbound system using AI to scale their agency, generate more appointments, and remove themselves out of their business, right? Now, I wanted to make this quick one because, like I said, I have this one mindset thing that I see a lot of people, especially in the multi six figure or just before about to get there, they make this one mistake or this one kind of, let's say, mindset mistake that keeps them just cling to their business and doesn't allow them to actually see the fruits of their labor or get themselves out of the day-to-day so they can enjoy time, perhaps travel, perhaps spend time with their family. And this one mindset thing has literally saved me. Right now, I'm just going to reference this is a lot of people when they first start hiring, and it was me when I first started hiring, I hired things that I didn't like, right? Or I wasn't even good at. And yes, people say hire where it hurts, but what I've realized, I was hiring to solve the actual problem, right? So for example, let's say I hated outreach. I didn't know how to book appointments. I used to hire an appointment setter to come and book appointments for me, but then the appointment setter never worked out, right? And the reason why is because they didn't even understand my niche. They didn't understand my offer. And more importantly, were they committed to actually seeing my business grow as much as I am, right? And this happened throughout so many areas of the business when it came to, let's say, client success, when it came to sales calls, right? I hired someone to come in and actually solve the problem. And that's where I'll see a lot of people making the mistake, especially before they hit that first 10, 20K per month, is hiring people to solve the problem instead of hiring for people to replicate once the problem's already been solved. For example, right? When I first started doing sales calls, I wanted to make sure that I was selling, bring clients in. Of course, I was the main sales guy of the business, right? But as soon as I get to a point that I was closing plus 25%, that means one in basically every three calls that I had, or one every four calls that I had, I was closing them into new business, right? And as soon as I started getting to that level, I was like, okay, I can start selling, but I'm not going to get crazy good at sales compared to where I am right now, right? I'm not trying to blow my own horn, but I had the data to say, hey, I'm good enough where every time I jump in a call, there's a 1 out of 4 chance that someone's going to turn into a client, right? At that point, I could have just gone in to make it to 1 out of 3 chances, but at the end of the day, I'm not trying here to be Jordan Belfort and stuff, right? So what I decided to do was just go and realize, hey, I've got call recordings of me closing, I've got the scripts, I've got the objection handling, I've got all the frameworks necessary, and I've got actually the mindset because I became a closer for my own business that can close at north of 25+%, right? And at that point, I was like, okay, I've basically maxed out or I've gone to a level that I'm good enough, and that's one thing, good enough at the skill to get someone else in to do it for me, right? So now when I was hiring, I was just hiring someone that had the mindset and the character trait that I was looking at. I wasn't looking for someone that had so much experience because I knew exactly what they needed to say, the tonality they needed to say in, and basically the script. So I need someone that can just come in, jump every single day, work, have a great attitude. And honestly, if I have someone like that, I'll be able to get out of the sales calls, right? And then that's what I done. I went on different job boards. I then found one of my closers, Josh, right now, and we got him into the business. Now, once we got him into the business, I was like, oh my God, this, like, he was such a perfect. And I had one hire before him that me and him are still good friends today, but it didn't plan out, right? Wish him all the best. Actually doing really good on a new offer. But then when I got Josh into the business, and I was like, okay, this time I'm doing it properly, right? I'm not gonna rush. I see a lot of people rush the management and trying to get them in as soon as possible. Nor am I even gonna delegate the management. And I've seen a lot of people delegate management. Like, hey, I don't want to manage this guy. Get someone else to manage him for him. No, I want to do everything myself. And the reason I'm saying this is because when I know how to do it myself, you start to understand what good looks like, right? You start really building up the skills required to maintain and build a sales team. Now, this could be any facet of the business. I've done the same with the setters, right? I started learning how to set myself, then got my first setter and gave him my system, and then he hired other setters after I hired other setters, right? So you knew exactly how to do it, and you knew what good looked like versus what bad looked like, right? And this allowed me to start scaling the business while maintaining the productivity and the efficiency of the business. Meaning, as I was scaling, I was actually making more money. A lot of people start hiring people and the profit margins die down because the people aren't producing income, aren't producing revenue, right? Because again, they haven't built the systems themselves, right? They don't know like how to train them up. They don't know what tonality to use. And that's the biggest thing I learned. And if this big mindset hack is hire to replicate, don't hire to solve, right? Because every time you hire to solve, you're basically not solving the problem yourself, right? You're just guessing, hiring someone to potentially solve the problem. But 9 times out of 10, when someone literally does that, there is such a chance that it does work, right? But you're really just putting the odds against your favor. Right? If you hire to replicate, there's a higher chance that the person or the employee that you're going to hire is going to come into your business, actually do the right work, actually get the right audit from you and the right advice from you, and actually start producing revenue a lot faster than someone's just there trying to solve it. Because if you're trying to solve a problem, you have to go through proof of concept, you have to do a few tests, right? There's a lot of iteration you have to do. But if you're hiring to replicate, they have an already proven system. And in my opinion, I don't feel like you should hire someone until you have a proven system for them to work in, right? Especially at the beginning stages. It's just because you're basically hiring someone to get fired, right? In my opinion, instead of hiring them to actually grow them, like actually build them and challenge them. Okay? So there's a few things, and I hear some excuses of people saying, oh, I don't have the time, right? But as a business owner, your primary role is to generate more business or more revenue for the business. So if your role is to generate more business and more revenue and actually to get yourself out of it, this is one of the highest leverage tasks you can do. It's actually find a system that works, like sales, marketing, do it yourself so you actually understand it into fully depth, right? And then get someone in to take care of the whole thing for you and then train them and manage them, right? Because when you train and manage them, you can get 3, 4, 5 people. Like for setters, for example, we've got 7 setters on the team right now. And first started with 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 7, right? And now every time I change a new script, every time I want to increase volume, everything is just so, I'm so leveraged. Meaning that I could be away, let's say I went to Cyprus or outside of the country, I could be away, text on my phone, and booking come in left, right, and center. People are getting deals closed while I'm on the airport, right? Or in the airplane, right? Things like that just start getting the wheels ticking. And a lot of people never get to that stage because number one, they think that they live this fallacy of, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. But if you're stuck where you are and you haven't really like progressed, the time they're using right now and allocating to your business is not producing the results that you want. So you have to actually get to grips with that and be like, okay, what I'm doing right now may have worked to get me up to this point, but it's not going to work to get me to the next point. So I can spend all the time that I think I didn't have or I do have and put it to something that actually is going to move the needle forward. And a lot of people never get to that point, right? So that's one of the biggest thing, okay? Now, in terms of kind of like just more of an actionable standpoint, this is how I would go about, let's say, shifting my mindset from hiring to solve versus hiring to replicate. Number one, I'll actually acquire the skill, right? So for example, if it's setting ads or let's say customer success, I'll acquire the skill and I'll actually do repetition of it. So for example, let's say sales. Have you closed 30 people before? If the answer is no, go back, learn the skill of closing people, close 30 people, and then move on to the next thing. Now, once you've learned or acquired the skill, meaning that you've done it enough time with a high enough of accuracy and getting the desired results from it, could be closing, could be setting, right? Then I want you to create an SOP, okay? And when I mean SOP, I mean you need to create standard operating procedures, like literally step 1, do this, step 2, do this, step 3, do this. Then as well as examples, right? For example, if it's you're setting calls, have an example of sets that you've closed, that you've done, right? So let's say you have a full conversation, this is what I said at first, this handled this objection, so you actually have examples to show someone else, right? Number 3 is hire someone with that's junior, with less experience, but has very strong values, right? You can get someone moderate experience, but the main thing we're looking at is the values, right? The character traits. That's the biggest thing, like their attitude towards work. Are they a hard worker? Are they hungry, right? Because if you look for someone that has this character trait and you have the right system, they're going to flourish, right? If someone is open, is learning, is actually always adjusting, and they have the right system that we can drill into them, right? They're going to flourish. Because sometimes if you hire someone that's too experienced, like they already have like bad habits that they've picked up during the time of working, right? That you really want to flush out. And it's just going to require some work. There's some people that experience that never bring that can also solve. But what I found in my experience is usually if you bring someone that is a bit more experienced and they try come into your business, they're going to try change things around, right? That's why I prefer getting someone that's a bit junior, okay? Someone that has that character trait, has a clean slate, that we can just help them literally drill in the system into the head again and again and again, right? And while this whole thing is happening, this has also helped me become a better manager because not only do I know what good looks like, it's actually helped me distinguish which character traits are going to work best in this type of role, right? And if someone doesn't have the character traits, I can then help build them because I know exactly what I'm looking for, right? And also helps me to basically think more like a business operator, meaning that I can really see if this is a system issue or if this is a kind of a person issue, right? And helps me distinguish between them. Because some people, because they never built everything themselves, they don't know if the system doesn't actually work or the person managing the system doesn't know how to manage it right. And that's where it really starts coming in effectively when managing someone, right? So that's essentially what it is. Like I said, in the long term, it's going to help you a lot better hiring to replicate at first, and then of course just scaling these guys up, whether it be sales reps, sellers, instead of hiring to solve. And trust me, I'm saying this from working with so many agencies that come to us before they come to us having hired just an agency to help them with lead generation system, but they've realized that that agency didn't understand the niche, didn't understand the offer, had no clue what they were doing with their business, right? And then they come to us and start learning things themselves. And that's, as a business owner, is the most important thing, right? You should know as a business owner how to sell. You should know as a business owner how to market leads. You should be the one that knows literally all you need to know about your business because you are the head. People that you hire are going to look up to you for advice, up to you for problem solving. And if you don't know what you're doing, it's just not a business that anyone wants to be a part of, right? Everyone wants to follow a leader that knows exactly what they're doing, okay? So learn the systems yourself, even if it takes a bit of time, right? Even if it feels like hard work, it feels like effort. Like that's what business is, right? Acquire the skills, get the SOPs done, and then get someone in to manage what you're currently doing, right? And this helped me so much. And helped me to a point right now where I'm not in the business as much. Like, to be honest, sometimes I work 2 to 4 hours a day because the business is running itself, right? Because people are doing standard operating procedures that I've built and that I know works, that are proven, right? Because I've done them so many times. And that's when we want to get up to a stage because then you can consistently start selling this, right? So, like I said, any recommendations in terms of everything? Find a system that works, build that system, get the KPIs up to the level, right? Then what you want to do is create the SOPs for that KPI, then delegate it to someone else, and then scale it, right? Because once you delegate someone else, they've got the KPIs, then your role is just to get more of them people and start scaling it linearly. Okay, so that's all it from this video. Like I said, I've made this mistake before. I've seen so many people do it. And please, please, please hire to replicate instead of hire to solve. And that's it from this video. If you like it, put a like, subscribe. If you also need help kind of going through this whole process, there is a link below for you to chat to a member of my team or a member of me to see how we can help you out scaling your agency. But that's all it from this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.